And socio-economic and political cooperation said vital for the global South stage. Hello and welcome to BBC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism, with the latest news highlights of the hour. I am Tabitha John. Do stay with us. Pakistani entrepreneurs have indicated an overwhelming desire to participate in an assortment of investment domains. A high-level investment delegation arrived from Pakistan, intent on exploring business opportunities in the Eastern African nation. In an exclusive interview with the Ethiopian news agency, delegate members underscored that Ethiopia's business-friendly environment is pulling in various potential. Chair of the Pakistan-Ethiopia Business Council, Ibrahim Khalid, gave his approval to Ethiopia's economic diplomacy endeavors. Khalid pinned his hopes on his delegation's considerable experience in the pharmaceutical and sundry other industries to ease their way into the Ethiopian investment climate. The Ethiopian Airlines, a member of the Star Alliance, celebrated the 10th anniversary of its flights from Addis Ababa to Shanghai on May 28, 2024 in Shanghai, China. The occasion was marked by a ceremony that highlighted the growing relationship between Ethiopia and China, with the aviation sector serving as a key indicator of the strengthening bond. The event also recalled the elevation of Ethiopia-China ties to an all-weather strategic partnership during the Third Belt and Road Initiative BRI Forum in 2023, which underscored the expanding scope of their cooperation in various fields. Tuesday's event, which was attended by representatives of the Chinese government, entities associated with Ethiopian Airlines, and numerous other participants, further emphasized the deepening ties between Ethiopia and China. The Ministry of Industry and stakeholders underlined the need for bolstering public-private partnership with a view to improve the transparency of policies, ensure accountability and build trust. The remark came here today when the Ethiopian Chamber of Commerce and sectoral associations and other stakeholders from public and private manufacturing industries hammered out issues related to challenges facing the manufacturing industry and possible remedies. Shagao Yamato has the details.
The Ministry of Industry, the Ethiopian Chambers of Sectoral Association and stakeholders from public and private manufacturing industries held dialogue on challenges facing the manufacturing sector and possible solutions. On the occasion, Minister of Industry Malaku Alebala highlighted the significance of the dialogue with stakeholders. Underscoring tremendous efforts made by the government, he also called on stakeholders in the manufacturing sector to work closely with the government as it is striving to capacitate companies to manufacture in high capacity.
Today's discussion with private sector stakeholders has a key role in integrating the government's involvement with the owners of the manufacturing sector. Particularly, it helps us to clarify the policy implementation, whereas cooperation and builds trust between the government and private sectors, in addition to increasing production and productivity. The government is committed to work on alleviating challenges like providing raw material, financial loan, and infrastructure development, among others. I would like to call upon producers to strengthen themselves in addition to assessing management and skill performance.
Despite the government's relentless effort, the private sector is mainly challenged by a number of factors and called on the government to carry on its support to the private sector.
Okay, generally speaking, the manufacturing industry has constraints, challenges related to access to raw material, especially for light manufacturing sector like the textile and leather. It is a highly import-dependent sector, so most of the manufacturing raw materials are imported. So for this reason, access to raw material is one of the challenges. And foreign currency comes. Because as sector is highly dependent on imported raw material, you can imagine how availability of foreign currency affects the competitive capacity of these industries.
Owners of manufacturing industries appreciated the government's effort in creating conducive environment for manufacturers.
The industry minister is working fast on this aspect to help the private sector to come up with the opportunities with the lease financing as well as the loan opportunities. We have heard that in 2023 they have granted nearly 300 billion bridges to capacitate the private sector. That means a lot, and we know this is especially to develop the manufacturing capacity of the private sector, and we need to keep on working very hard until we achieve our targets.
The minister further highlighted the significance of holding further discussions to capacitate companies to produce better capacities in the manufacturing sector.
Let's explore the best places to visit in Barcelona.
Welcome back. Addis Ababa has taken the lead in launching the regional consultation phase for Ethiopia's national dialogue, bringing together representatives from 11 societal factions, including farmers, pastoralists, community leaders, and more. Over 2,500 individuals have gathered at the newly constructed Adwa Museum in the heart of the city. Alongside these representatives, city-level stakeholders, political parties, religious institutions, and civic societies are joining to set agendas and nominate representatives for the nationwide dialogue. Johannes Fentahun brings us up to speed.
The much-anticipated regional consultation phase has commenced in Addis Ababa, marking the beginning of a crucial series of events. The Commission has announced that it has been working to realize a fair and inclusive representation. Over the past 2 years, the Commission has meticulously worked on preliminary activities, ensuring the fair selection of representatives from various communities across the nation.
The Commission was trying to do its best, focusing on basically on 4 points. The first point is on capacity building, because the Commission was established almost from nothing, so that it has to work on the capacity to perform these national activities. The second one is to create awareness, because we are very far as a society, we are very far from such kind of activities. The third one is on participation, on participants' election. According to the proclamation, the national dialogue, which is going to be processed in Ethiopia, has to or must be inclusive and also participatory. So to ensure this inclusivity and also participation, so we go through starting from the waradas, from the community level up to the federal level. So the third major activity was that one. The fourth one was to perform these activities. The Commission needs to establish some rules and also procedures. So creating those rules and procedures was also the other activity. So
starting from May 29, 2024 and spanning 7 consecutive days, Addis Ababa will collect agendas, engage in dialogue to consolidate them, and select representatives to represent the city in the nationwide dialogue.
Addis Ababa is the capital city of Ethiopia. All the diversities of Ethiopia are represented in Addis in one way or another. Besides that, Addis Ababa is also the seat of the African Union. As Ethiopians, we are solving our own problems by ourselves without any interference from the external world through dialogue, through an inclusive, credible dialogue which is open for all the representatives which have been selected by the people of Addis Ababa. The agenda gathering process is very important because after the agenda collection, there will be the dialogue on the agendas that have been collected, and they will resolve some of the issues at regional administration level, but there will be certain agendas that could go beyond that, and those are agendas that could go to the national level, to the national dialogue level.
This regional consultation phase will be concluded after selecting one set of agenda items and representatives which will represent Addis Ababa in the nationwide consultation after 7 days. Reporting for EBC World, Johannes Fentahun, Adwa Museum.
And finally, the provision of enhanced frameworks that facilitate socio-economic and political cooperation on every level among countries of the Global South has become an ever more significant topic on the global stage. Talking to EBC World, stakeholders called upon policymakers to come up with better solutions and also allow the youth to fail so they may come up with achievements more better. Tagasar Nesa reports.
From tackling innovative sustainable growth barrier to managing the global upkeep with rapidly transforming digital technologies, there is a consistent need for economies to collaborate, innovate, and change for the betterment of societies. The provision of enhanced frameworks that facilitate socio-economic and political cooperation on every level among countries of the Global South has become an ever more significant topic on the global stage. Approached by EBC founder and CEO of Selco Foundation, Harish Hande, has stressed that innovation has been given out to the underprivileged without actual need of being looked at.
Regarding the cooperation of Global South for the underserved communities in both, whether you talk about the Asian continent and the African continent, many a time the programs are designed in the North, and the implementation happens in the South without the actual needs being looked at of the poor, without the ownership of the poor. So they are not part of the program designed. So a lot of times the technologies are just given without ownership. And you see failed projects across Africa and India.
Regarding solving problems, managing partner at Precise consulting firm, Hinoka Sefa, has indicated that coming in unison is important.
There are technologies that are being developed using, for example, solar panels, distributed solar panels, that could run just about all their electricity needs, from lighting to running a small business, or for farming operations, for running irrigation pumps, or cooling their products, or using, even milling, grain milling. Everything that you can imagine that the grid electricity could do is now possible to do by using these small-scale machineries. Now, these small-scale machineries are not important at the moment for the global north, which has grids and operates a different way. So they cannot teach us. We have to teach each other. The Global South-South Summit is actually organized because all this innovation needs to listen to each other, learn from each other, and start to help solve some of the problems of the poor.
Hande further called on policymakers the need to come up with better solutions and also allow the youth to fail so they might end up achieving even better, he noted.
One is policy, but what in policy is innovation funds to fail. If youngsters are not allowed to fail, they will never succeed. Innovations can happen only after failures. And second is appropriate low-cost financing. And that is how California succeeded. Massachusetts succeeded. That's the only way Ethiopia, India, Indonesia, and that's where I think the regulations need to come in place.
Henok, for his part, stated that a mindset change needs to be ushered even more.
So what I wanted to say is that innovation is everywhere. Innovation is not something the global north does and that the global south copies. Innovation is the tools by which we as humanity come together to solve our problems, our challenges, and to take advantage of the opportunities that we have. That mindset is important because right now we're all looking north, but solutions are actually mostly in the south. So it's a mindset change is extremely important.
To facilitate and strengthen cohesion among growing economies in the global south, cross-country network encouraging competitive business environment is said to be key.
You're watching ABC World, a reminder of the top stories. Addis Ababa begins agenda setting for upcoming national dialogue. And socio-economic and political cooperation said vital for the Global South stage. That's all we had for now. I'm Tabitha John. Thank you for watching. Have a good time and do take care.